You might think you know this morning's guest, but you don't know Jack. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Sheraton Myrtle Beach Convention Center Hotel on the corner of 21st Avenue and Oak Street in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on my brother's 40th birthday. And April Fool's Day, we're focused on 25 years of radio broadcasting. We're visiting with Banana Jack Murphy.
Hey, brother.
Good morning, Banana.
Okay. Oh,
yeah,
so
I'm
get
sorry.
the cue card out of
It's
here.
April Fool's Day.
Oh,
I had to do that. Yeah,
How you been, man?
Doing great.
Brother's 40th. I haven't seen 40 in a long time. No. I wish I were 40.
You wish you still had it. My brother's actually 40 today, and
well,
so we
neat.
are celebrating. I'm heading to Durham tonight to celebrate his 40th birthday,
Neat.
which will be cool. Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Tell him I said hi.
I will do that, but
Yeah.
I did want to make surely our real focus is 25 years
No
of
joke.
radio broadcasting. Can you imagine, Jack? Did you ever think that 25 years ago?
I didn't think I'd be in broadcasting that long.
You did.
No.
You were. I hate to date you, but 25 years ago, you were what? 6?
I wish.
7?
No, that's very kind of you. But see,
9?
I've already bypassed that. No, I think 17, 18.
Is that right?
18.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of
how
got
exciting.
into radio at 17.
So that has told us now you're 43.
Yeah.
Wow, Jack, you kept your youth very well.
I've got a little touch of gray here,
Couple of grays,
which was
yeah.
pointed out to
You've
me.
got a couple of grays on your mustache.
Yeah,
I never noticed that. Yeah,
but I'm going to age gracefully, you know.
And even of equal excitement, 50 years of WLSC AM 1240 there in
Now
Loris.
that I would never
Right.
have pinpointed, because I used to drive by that station in Loris when it was right there on 701,
Right.
Traveling through that area all the time, and you just never in my wildest dreams, looking at that I ever conceived that I would own that
that
station.
you would be the owner.
No.
Can you even say it now? I'm the owner
Oh, I
of a radio.
say it. Yeah. I take great pride in
Good,
saying
good.
I'm the
Absolutely.
owner, but not the boss. The way
Right.
we set up the corporation, my wife is the boss,
Barb Crump.
but
yes.
she lets me do what I want to do.
She does. She gives you Tristan's
At least
probably,
through the
actually.
first
Yeah,
quarter
yeah.
of actual
At least for
business.
another.
Yeah, I don't know.
The quarter ended
We're trending
yesterday.
up.
That's right.
We're
yeah.
trending up, so life
Congratulations.
is good as long as we keep going, this way.
Yeah,
It'll be
yeah.
fine.
A radio station. That's a big deal, Jack.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. Last April, it's almost been a year.
Right.
I was on Carolina People. We were
I
talking
remember.
about another venture that I'm still involved in, and I
Right.
was really going to focus on that. And bumped into another radio colleague, Jim Morgan,
Right.
and he was shopping. He likes to cook, and he was picking up some things to come up with some special dish that he was concocting.
Right.
And I just happened to be at the grocery store in the middle of the week. I very seldom do any of the grocery shopping.
Yeah.
And if I do, it's the weekend and not during the week. And I just kind of bumped into him, and we were talking. And he asked me was I ever going to get back in radio. I said, if I do, it will be back on my own terms.
Right. Right.
And he goes, well, it sounds like you're just going to have to buy a station. I said, well, do you know one for sale? And he goes, well, actually, I heard WLSC in Loris was for sale.
Right,
I says, well,
right.
get the info on that from your contact, and I'll call him.
Yeah.
So he called me back that afternoon. And
Did he really?
yeah, and I touched base, and it just so happened that the managing partner of the company I bought the station from was in town that week.
No.
Yeah, it just happened to be in town. And
Lord
so I had an
works
impromptu.
mysteriously,
It
Jack.
really does.
Yeah,
yes.
That's not an April Fool's Day.
No,
yeah,
it's
that's
a
real.
divine intervention.
Wow.
And I sat down and chewed the fat with the guy, and we negotiated and squabbled over price and
Right.
things. And I had to look over the books and put together a business plan.
How exciting,
Yeah.
Jack. Yeah. A business plan. That in and of itself is probably a tough thing to do.
Yeah. I think I wrote a pretty good plan because
Yeah.
I'd always had 25 years of being in the business,
Right.
and having ideas, and someone would say, well, you can't do that.
Sure.
But there wasn't a legitimate reason why. Now, a lot of those ideas in the business plan, we can't do that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they were in the plan and a business plan, and this is just a little tip for anything. If you start a business, it's essential that you start one. It's not that you have to stick to it.
Right.
But look at it, tweak it, it changes. It's kind of a living, breathing
It
document.
is a
that you
very
can,
living,
yeah.
sure,
But it's
sure.
important to have one because it was a good roadmap. So when we took over,
Right.
we had a little idea of what to do, and there's some things that we can't do. Yeah.
I know lots of business owners who never think about doing a business plan, and oftentimes their business just implode. They absolutely blow up.
What's that saying? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I don't necessarily.
Yeah, I think I have that on my door, but I can't remember it. I need to ask our producer.
Yeah.
She's probably seen as often as I have. If you failed it, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad. It is April Fool's Day, though, Jack. But of course, there is no fool involved in the excitement of 25 years of radio broadcasting.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you remember your first DJ experience? I mean, were you working hard to get a job at a radio station, or was it even before that?
I didn't really have to work too hard. I was on an internship, so I guess that would I was on the college station, and I never counted that.
Right.
As I wanted to get out and get paid. And my first internship, I thought I was getting paid, and I got paid. But the check was no good. The company, they mismanaged their funds and everything, and so this was an internship. And
right.
It was a bonus that I was getting paid for my internship experience anyway.
Right.
And I said, I don't want to learn how to do broadcasting from guys who can't balance a checkbook.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I can balance a checkbook. I had more money when I was 18 than I do now. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
In my
Yeah,
personal
yeah,
checking
yeah.
account. I don't know how that happened.
Well,
you know,
you've
when
got
you plant the
Tristan
seed money and all of that.
Absolutely, yes.
But I actually left my internship, and I was a program director at 18. Most of the management positions that I had, I gave up by the time I was 22 and just focused on doing morning radio.
Really?
And that was all I'd ever done when I came here, was just morning radio.
Right.
From about 87 on. All of my management experience was when I was in my 20s.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's rare.
It was a little
It's
freaky.
clearly rare. Folks want to get on air and then move into other positions to take it easy. Not to take anything away from the management in the radio stations, which work very hard, I'm sure. But clearly, the opportunity to get on air is.
I appreciate what those managers that, because I'm doing all of that. It's just a one-man show. I do have some folks that are kind of contracted sales reps to help me out on the sales side.
Right.
But the on-air programming, pretty much, it's a one-man operation. I
Wow.
do it all. Billing, accounting, selling, on-air.
That is nuts.
Take out
Jack.
the garbage.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
insane. And you really can't do it all, but, we got to,
Right.
it's in the business plan.
Oh, yeah. Well, we want to talk more about that and obviously highlight your location. But if a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family off to school, is there a good phone number? And do you all have a website
Sure.
to learn more both about you as well as about your amazing new radio station?
It's WLSCradio.com.
.com. Great.
Yeah, WLSC Radio.
WLSC as in Laura, South Carolina.
That's exactly it.
Excellent. Radio.com.
And we're 1240 a.m.
1240 a.m.
When I took
Good.
over the station, you couldn't pick it up in Myrtle Beach. You can now.
Really?
And we didn't increase the power at all.
Wow.
We just went in and just did some basic maintenance. We
Right.
went out to the transmitter side. AM is a ground radio-based system.
Okay.
And there were some trees that had grown up in there. You just
Right.
have to do simple maintenance, and we
Good.
went in and tweaked it up, had an engineer come in and actually look at the tower and the transmitter, and they were out of basic alignment, so they were tuned. I don't want to get too technical
Right,
because it
sure,
was boring.
sure.
And we really picked up our signal.
Wow.
The other day, we drove from my house here in town at 62nd Avenue area and drove all the way down to Garden City, and was picking up the
Oh,
station.
come on.
No,
You could pick it up
seriously.
the whole way
Yeah,
in your
12
car?
Yeah.
Wow.
We got a good radio
12:40
on my
a.m.
wife's car. 12:40 a.m.
Yeah. Your wife is a much nicer car than you.
Oh,
so that-
absolutely, yeah. She's
And
the
it should be
boss.
that
I told
way.
you, she's the president.
Barb's amazing.
Managing member here.
I like that. Good. It's good to put the authority in a strong woman.
Sure.
And Tristan, hopefully someday, your strong
He's
son.
already on the air.
Oh, come on.
No, he's doing some stuff on the air, and I'm always kind of like the master showman, and I try to like to get PR for anything.
Right.
I've checked the Guinness Book of World Records. I think an 8-year-old was like the world's youngest disc jockey. Tristan's 3 now, and he's just doing some voiceover stuff for me.
Yeah.
But he's really taking
You want to get that Guinness Book of World Records for your son.
I do.
So you've got 4 years to kind of prime him.
It won't take 4 years.
Oh, really?
No.
You think he'll be?
He's gonna.
He'll be so that
he's
no one
gonna
has
be
any
there.
chance
Yeah,
of overtaking
yeah,
him.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's pretty.
Jack.
It's pretty neat.
That's a big deal.
It's kind of a double-edged sword. I said, do I really want? Because
Oh yeah, notoriety.
you
and-
see this a lot when people own car dealerships.
Right.
They always put either their children
Oh,
or their
yeah,
grandkids
sure.
in their ads, radio and television.
Right.
And I said, that's kind of goofy. And the first thing that I did was see if I could implement my son into it. And he really is taking a liking to it.
Down the road, he'll be saying, I got my daddy. He's going to come on
Right,
and
exactly,
be with us today.
But if nothing else, he has no fear of being in front of others on stage, and
Wow.
he's getting a good grasp of speaking and using the English language. And I fooled a lot of people into thinking, that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But Tristan is really doing.
It's funny. We do a little skit.
Yeah.
We've recorded about 10 of them so far, called Bert and Squirt.
Bert and Squirt.
Bert and
This
Squirt.
is on WLSC.
Yeah, we do it in the
Viewers need
morning.
to tune in. That's right.
Absolutely. I like how you said viewers, because we're working on something to bring TV to radio.
Really?
But we haven't
good.
finalized that yet.
Yes. Let's wrap that
But
up.
But Bert and Squirt.
Bert and
My
Squirt.
son. I'm
That
Bert.
is amazing.
He's Squirt.
That's probably one of a kind. Yeah. Has Barb gotten involved on the radio side? Is she coming in? Is she on air at all? Or
No, not yet.
She's letting father son do
No,
the dirty work.
her schedule's kind of really, really crazy. She comes
Right.
over to the office. She's involved, but not as involved as I am.
Sure.
And when she comes over there, she tells me what a mess the office is.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Golly.
and I just have to keep her out of that.
Well, she will be there this weekend, as will a lot of other
Big
folks
weekend.
this Saturday, April 5th. Big deal. What's going on?
We decided to do things a little differently when
Right.
we moved to Main Street. The Loris Chamber of Commerce is doing an old-fashioned sidewalk sale.
Great.
So they're shutting down Main Street from the corner of where I am at
Right.
701 and South Carolina 9, which is Main Street and Broad Street.
Right.
And that will go all the way to the railroad track. All the businesses are just going to bring their wares out to the street.
Wow.
And so we said...
Rain
since
or
it-
shine.
Rain or shine.
Right.
And rain or shine, we're still going to have our show. We've got a stage in there. We're kicking off a new program called Bluegrass on the Corner, where we're going to feature local and regional bluegrass acts. We're going to broadcast. It's kind of like the closest thing to the Grand Ole Opry that you'll find around here.
Right.
Nobody plays bluegrass music, so we've got the Marsh Brothers from Conway.
Yeah.
We're going to come over there for about 2 hours. We have a Dolly Parton impersonator from Hank and Singer's show, the Dino's TV
Oh,
variety
yeah,
show.
of course,
They're going to come
absolutely.
up. We've got Granny Clampett who's going to be there. Kind of that whole retro thing.
Wow,
Because
Jack.
we're on AM and we've seized on it. Nobody does bluegrass.
Right.
And bluegrass music is how Barb and I actually met.
Is that right?
She was promoting a folk arts festival back in 1995.
Right.
Was a guest on my radio show, and 2 years later I was married to her.
That's
and it's all because
incredible.
of bluegrass music.
And you all have been married now a little more than a decade then.
Yeah.
Wow.
11, 12 years, I don't know. She keeps track of that
It's 11,
stuff.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is exciting,
Neat stuff.
Jay.
So we've got that. We're going to do a chicken bog and that we're
Right.
going to cook.
Good.
And the
you mean the
Chambers...
WLSC's going to cook, or the
I've
whole
got somebody
community?
who's going to
Right,
cook
right.
and come
Sure.
in. But it's just a great day to go see what's happening in Loris.
What are the times if viewers want to come out on Saturday to
Sidewalk
downtown?
sale is from 9 to 5.
Okay, great.
We'll probably kick off our broadcast. The Bluegrass Show starts at 10, goes
10
until
a.m.,
noon.
okay.
And that'll be broadcast on WLSC Radio,
Right,
12:40
right.
a.m. and at
12:40 a.m.
WLSCradio.com.